This week, we have a dude from Downey, California, the newest member of our Arizona Diamondbacks, and a UFC fan who wouldn't mind the MLB spicing up baseball fights a little bit. Evan Longoria in the house with the one-star recruits. Let's go.
The one-star recruits have partnered up with 500 Level. Get all your NBA, NFL, MLB merch at 500level.com. Use the code ONESTAR for 20% off everything on the site. They got some good Evan Longoria merch. Check it out, 500level.com. Let's go.
Hey, this is Evan Longoria, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and you're on the One Star Recruits podcast.
Yo, aloha. Welcome to the One Star Recruits podcast. I'm DK, joined as always with my best friend of 25 years, Rip. Rip. I might actually have to change that title. I think we're getting up to 30 years as I say that, which is crazy. We're one stars. We're getting better in life with the help of some 5 stars in sports and film and music and math and monstrosities and everything. In this case, podcast legends. Long Beach in the house. We have John and Paul from the Long Beach 908 Shoot Your Shot pod. Guys, welcome back. Second appearance, guys. Welcome back. PS3, how are you, bro?
I'm great, dude. I miss you guys. Had a blast that first time. You guys are freaking crushing it, by the way. Freaking sponsorships, 500 level, all that shit. That's unbelievable.
We are still here. Yeah, 500 level. They do a lot of the big head shirts that we growing up. We had a lot of the big head stuff. We love that. That was really popular. I think it's coming back. Who was your number one draft pick big head shirt coming up, John?
I don't know what any of that means, but I'm glad to be here. And we're talking like a bobblehead or something.
Yeah, you know the shirts where they do the really big heads and the small body for the athletes? Dude, those are super cool, John. You never had one of those growing up.
No. Only if it was at Goodwill or something and I picked it up. I don't know. I'm not a fashion genius like Paul.
I think number one would be Ken Griffey, right? If we're talking like big head shirts, it's got to be Griffey, no?
Oh, one of the best. Bo Jackson, King Griffey, those might have gotten down to the secondhand shops in kind of the early 2000s, but super cool. I had the Disney characters. I remember I had Wile E. the Coyote and Bugs Bunny playing basketball. Looney Tunes shirt.
Okay.
Hot one. Anyway.
I got Gardner Minshew right here, boys. Gardner Minshew.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a shirt with a hair and a mustache, not even a face. So it's like if you know, you know, right?
Exactly.
You get called out on the street like 1 out of every 10 times you wear that. Someone knows that mustache, right?
And you know that guy's a real one when they call it or girl. Hey, I respect everybody around here.
Oh yeah, that's a high five. That's a fresh one. Nice. I don't know if that's 500 level, but thank you for the compliment.
No, it's not. Sorry.
It is not all good. No free ads, but a very fly Minshew hoodie. A lot of Eagles fans listening to this pod. A lot of Eagles fans all over the country. I learned in Arizona. Who's your football team, Paul? Who do you root for in the NFL? Are you a Super Bowl champion perhaps this year? Are you a Chiefs fan?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not a Super Bowl champion. I'm a big Falcons fan. So if you want to say we're a little bit of the lovable losers, then yeah, we'll take it. But it's been a tough road the last few years, boys.
You don't meet a lot of Falcons fans. It's like meeting an Orlando Magic fan. Nice to meet you.
Exactly.
Paul was trying to explain his sportshood fandom to you guys, and that's why he's a Falcons fan, because you don't meet a lot of them.
Exactly.
No, I love it. I love obscure teams that fans root for. You catch them every now and again. In non-obscurity, though, John, congratulations are in order. Sounds like you got engaged. The nuptials are coming. Congrats.
I appreciate it. Big moment. Paul, I wanted Paul to be there, my good friend, but he flew off to Hawaii. He was drinking Mai Tais. Unbelievable, huh?
What, Paul, you were here, you were in Hawaii while the engagement was happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, he told me too late. He kept it so low key. He was like, hey, in a week, I'm going to be proposing. I'm like, well, I'm going to Hawaii next week, bro. I can't freaking ditch that.
Mm-hmm.
You should see how many spots he dropped down on the groomsman level just this last weekend. It was
it's fucked up.
He's down here now. It's pretty bad.
You're batting 6 now in the lineup in the rotation. John, how did you do it for the listeners? How did it go down?
Well, it was pretty low key. It wasn't public. We went back to a hotel room that we quarantined together in 2020 when we couldn't be around anyone because all our roommates were freaked out about COVID. So it was just on Willow Street, the Residence Inn. Here in Long Beach. Pretty just not that special of a hotel, but we pretty much dated all during COVID, so we didn't have a lot of like public dates, I guess, because everywhere was closed. But yeah, that was solid. And then we went out to dinner at Michael's in Naples with her family and my family, so it was a good time.
Lovely. Nice, man. And Residence Inn is a terrific brand. They have
Well-
full kitchen. Listen, if you want a full kitchen and a full apartment for less than $100, Residence Inn is it. So great choice for a quarantine.
Oh man.
So I left a note in the morning, and like she kind of knew it was going down, and I was like, I'll be back to pick you up for like a date at 1 p.m. So we were at dinner, and her whole family was like, so what did you do all morning? And I was like, they got a continental breakfast over at the Residence Inn. I went and had myself a free breakfast sandwich and a coffee. What do you mean? What was I doing?
Value guy. Hell yeah, man. Look at you guys. You should change your pod name to the 908 Romance Kings.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful. And we got you, Paul, out in Hawaii. What are you doing? You out here surfing, chilling, looking at turtles? What are you doing?
Well, first off, I want to say it's sad you didn't notice my tan, bro. What the hell is that about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
good.
come
I
on.
couldn't tell. You have that Gardner Minshew mustache as well, so
Yeah,
it's
you're
hard
right.
to tell. But you look like you have the Aloha spirit still. I can feel it.
Yeah, I do. I'm freaking laid back as can be right now. It was a great time, dude. I was hitting up some low key beaches, hitting up the low key spots. I had a buddy out that lives out there, so he was showing us everything. I was just trying not to be a haole, right? Isn't that what they say? You don't want to be a haole.
Yeah, Howley, I'm very much one. Every day I have to remind myself a lot not to do things that I normally do, to not be a Howley. But you're exactly right, bro. Go with the flow. Be chill. Eat some poke. Did you go to Foodland? Did you eat poke at Foodland?
No, I didn't go to Foodland, but I did have poke. It's crazy, bro. They have like poke spots like in the middle of the liquor store and stuff. Like that's like the way that's the spot to go. It was unbelievable though.
No, you're exactly right. That's just a gem. Rip, he just gave you a little hidden gem we don't talk about much here on the island. The #1 poke place here, I didn't even take you to it. It's at a liquor store.
Everything's so expensive, man. I was surviving off the $2.99 spam masubis from the ABC stores and stuff like that. Just hot out of the oven or however the hell they make them.
Hey, liquor in the front, poke in the back. Am I right?
That's right.
There you go, John. I was wondering where you would come in with that hot heater, man. Let's get John back on the mic. John, what are you doing for your B party, your bachelor party? You thought about that? I know we're only a week in.
Wait. First question is, how long after you got engaged did it take you to think about the bachelor party or Paul to bring it up to you? Because I know you guys go to like 10 bachelor parties a year just from listening to your pod. You guys are the experts.
So we are experts at the bachelor party, and I've actually had mine set for quite a while in my head of what I wanted to do, because I always get so pissed that it's just like, when you go to as many bachelor parties as Paul and I do, it's just like, we got another trip. It always ends up being epic. I'm just always pissed beforehand, and then after I don't, regret it at all. But so I had this thing in my head that mine's going to be in Long Beach, and I'm going to Avenue 3 Pizza.
I love it, dude.
It's just Rip.
Are you serious? Is that for real?
I think it's going to be like that's the goal, is to make it like Av 3 is where we all went when we were from 21 to 24. We did Schoonvember there, drank 30 schooners in 30 days. No one's drank more beer at a pizza joint than we have at Avenue 3 Pizza. And I was sort of thinking that just like it would be epic. And as we get older, it gets tougher for guys to travel, especially if they have kids or whatever. So I feel like if it's in Long Beach, I can get a lot of people there, and it just will fit our crowd good. We'll see if it can work out. I would love to rent it out so no one else is there, and we can kind of turn that into a beer game heaven with some free pizzas getting cooked up while we play.
Well, you're probably looking at about $200-300 to rent that place out for the night. Hey, no, I love. John, always thinking of others, man, looking out for other people, not having to travel. I actually had my birthday bachelor party in Long Beach also, but fill up the urinals with extra ice for John's bachelor party. I want to talk about some of because we want to tie this into Evan Longoria a little bit, because to me he'd be a really cool athlete to have at your bachelor party. I know he drinks, he parties, all that, but I want to tie this in. Let's do it. What, DK? We want to do a top 3 cities for bachelor parties that you guys think? Because like I said, you guys have been all over the place for bachelor parties, and Long Beach is an underrated one to me. But if you had to pick your top 3 cities based on where you've been or where you want to go, how would you guys rank those? And DK, you go first, because I know we kind of brought this on these guys, but give it a few minutes to think about.
Well, let's first let the listeners know that your bachelor party was also in Long Beach. I think it was at like the Sheraton.
No, it was. I'll give you the quick story. It was a weekend in May, about 10 years ago, and it was actually, I had no idea. We did it at the Maya Hotel, but it was Pride weekend in Long Beach. So anyone, if you live in Long Beach, the Maya has a massive pool party for Pride weekend. So we're rolling in there with about 10, 12 dudes. And we look out our window and we're like, holy shit, like this is the biggest pride pool party in Long Beach on my bachelor party weekend. So long story short, I got some epic pictures with some crazy looking guys in Speedos and everything else. And I think one probably had no pants on, but yeah, we ended up at Hooters down at the Pike and, everywhere down there. So it was a great, like I said, downtown Long Beach. I know you guys aren't big downtown guys, me neither, but it's very underrated for a bachelor party because there's so many places to go and they go a little East Long Beach. We kind of close things a little early over here in most places, but downtown runs till 1 or 2 in the morning. So
what do you work for the Chamber of Commerce? You work for the city now, Rip? You running for city council?
Hey, I got 2 Long Beach legends on the pod, a third in Evan Longoria, so I got to represent.
Yeah, you just sold the shit out of it. That was really fun, and that's right, you nailed it on the head. It was a total disaster that we turned lemons into lemonade because it was Pride Week. With that was great, Rip. You took that like a stallion. Not
no pun intended.
The only party at Hooters that weekend, or what?
Only. We had great service.
It was empty. It was completely empty. It was our 12 guys, wings, and we got some epic pictures of the waitresses. But John, real quick, just for no one that knows that doesn't live in Long Beach, tell them about this intersection where Avenue 3 is. And I mean, just the fact that there's a Del Taco and a Taco Bell at that intersection, probably the only one in America that has those 2 restaurants right there. But what do you call it? What's your name for it? That intersection?
The Dirty Bird. Well, the Dirty Birdie is if you go to Del Taco, Taco Bell, and Simone's Donuts, all 3 of them. So kind of, when you're drunk, they're all open 24 hours or close at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that. And if you can pull off all 3, the donut, I would usually go like a quesadilla or burrito from Del Taco, a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell, finish it off with a few donuts from Simone's. It's Palo Verde is the street name. It's called the Dirty Birdie.
I love that order too. What's your order, Paul, when you hit the Dirty Birdie?
Actually, I did it recently. I'm not going to lie to you, which, not a great idea when you're getting up in age like we are. Back in the day, it was easier. But the other day I went a $5 box over at Taco Bell. You have yourself a beefy 5-layer of taco and all that stuff. And I was like, shoot, I don't know if I ordered enough. So I was like, fuck, let's get in the Del Taco line. Got a stoner burrito is what we call it over there. And a nice grilled chicken soft taco. Actually, I didn't complete the Dirty Birdie, didn't get a donut at Simone's, but went with the double there.
Yeah,
the scary part about Paul's story is it was probably like, 11 a.m.?
Yeah, it was not that late, boys. I'm telling you, it was probably like 7 p.m.
It's very common at Taco Bell to worry that you did not get enough food. So the secondary hit is sometimes a thing. Because you're not sure $5. You want to be in the $8 to $10 range at Taco Bell for a full belly usually.
Yeah, exactly. I did buy enough food, by the way. It ended up being like $12 at Taco Bell. I did get enough food, but I still finished the whole thing. I was full of shit, boys. It was a wild time.
Sounds wild. Yeah, good that Long Beach. So Long Beach is on the bachelor party list. I obviously did mine in Vegas. It speaks for itself. It is what it is there. Rip didn't even remember. He was texting me a couple days ago. He didn't even remember my bachelor party existed. So that says it's a good one. So I'm going to add that to my list. What do you got, John? What's another top city outside of LB?
I would say for probably speaking for Paul and I, we've had a few in Pacific Beach, San Diego, just unbelievable. It's just, you can't go wrong. And I think one of them we drove down to like Gaslamp, San Diego for the night. One of them we didn't. It doesn't matter. If you're in the county of San Diego on the coastline, house with all the boys right there, like 2 steps from the beach, it's just unbeatable.
That's number 1 on my list, San Diego. I mean, we probably all have the same list, to be honest, because I know NOLA, New Orleans, is also on my top 3. I know, John, that's your city right there. The reason that I want to tie this into Longoria is because I know you guys love this town too, but spring training right now is starting in Scottsdale, Arizona, close to our hometown of Phoenix. And to me, that's a top 3 bachelor party destination, especially coming from the LA area. It's so close, an easy flight, an easy drive. But so many cool places to drink and party over there. And especially if you do it like during spring training or tie it in with like the waste management or one of those events. Yeah, top 3 for sure.
What do you think, John? You looking at Phoenix from the outside in? Is it a hot city? Is it picking up steam? Are you buying stock in the valley or selling it?
I was going to mention Scottsdale because we just went to a fantastic bachelor party there. we've had two there that were epic. The first one, really epic, really fucking hot, man. I don't know if I can deal with the heat, but we went in the fall last time. Was it the fall?
Yeah, it was September. No,
It was kind of nice.
no. It was October because
Yeah, it was October.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
great time.
I'm buying Scottsdale.
Fine, they're in. We have a leader on our young Diamondback squad, Rip. We're really excited about. Any memories coming to mind for you guys of this guy, or is this interview going to be a fresh new one? You're getting all kinds of new information. Anything jump out about Evan Longoria, Paul, when I bring up his name?
I know he's a great guy. First thing I think about is shortstop U, Long Beach State. You got Duffy, you got Bobby Crosby, you got Tulowitzki, and then Longoria. Obviously, I don't know if he played shortstop there, but he was definitely a part of that.
Yeah, Long Beach. Well, from Phoenix to Long Beach, enjoy this interview with Dirtbag and now Diamondback, Evan Longoria.
Now joining the One Star Recruits podcast, we have a husband, a father, a native of Downey, California, the newest member of our Arizona Diamondbacks, and an absolute dirtbag if I've ever seen one. Evan Longoria is in the house with the One Star Recruits. Thanks for coming on the show, Evan.
Yeah, happy to be on, guys.
Hey, I live in Long Beach, so I have to get the dirtbag shout out there. Quick story time, though. One of my neighbors on my street in Long Beach here, his name is Scott Molina. He was your teammate for a couple years at Bosco and ended up walking on at Long Beach State. He says to say hello, and he wanted me to point out, let me quote this from him here. My great memory of Evan is just the fact that he didn't really get any D1 scholarships out of high school, but whenever we faced the best high school pitchers in the area that had multiple offers, Evan would absolutely rake them. That and how we would pass letters back and forth to girls in the stands came to watch our games because we were an all-boys school, so girls were never far from our minds. So a couple of things here. You were an absolute one-star recruit, so you're on the right show. Is that something that fueled you in those early years through JUCO and then as a dirtbag and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I never really had that thought in my mind. I was never telling myself, oh, the reason that I want to succeed is because nobody's looking at me, or I don't have invites to all the D1s, that I can handle. I truly enjoyed playing the game still. And I think that was kind of the catalyst for me, always wanting to move forward. Was like, I was still having fun when I was in junior college. I was playing with one of my best friends, Adam Lands, who he didn't get recruited either. And we just decided, we're going to go play at Rio Hondo. And there was an opportunity for me to play there every day. So that was the reason why I chose to go there. And, outside of that, like when I got recruited by Long Beach, eventually that was the only offer that I had there too. So my uncle had scouted, long before I really knew that he scouted, and he, kind of said, if you wanted to wait one more year, maybe you'd have more D1 offers. But at that point, I was like, I've gone to community college for a reason, and that reason was to try and further my baseball career. And I felt like, Long Beach was the obvious next step, and also a storied, college, a place that had been to the College World Series, had produced, multiple big leaguers, multiple big name big leaguers, and it was close to home, so it really made sense. And I was excited. I jumped at the opportunity to go there.
Unbelievable, bro. What do you got about Molina? He threw a couple dirt little things out there with you. You got any memories of Molina?
What's funny is people have more clear memories of the people they played with than themselves. I remember things about other people better than I do about myself. People tell me all the time that, I used to say that I was going to make it to the big leagues one day. And, I'd be, the only thing I ever remember was driving by Angel Stadium and telling myself that I'd play in that stadium one day. But I don't remember like vocalizing that to anybody else. But people will tell me that all the time. Like, oh yeah, you said this or you said that. I'm like, maybe, it was probably just me like trying to project my energy on other people, or just put it out there into the universe.
The manifest, the universe manifest. I'm a king of that. I'm batting maybe, I don't know, 100 on my manifest in life. So
that's okay. Yeah, better than zero.
Yo, so opening day is coming up. We're getting pumped up. I know you've done Cabo, Castle Rock, nice off season, 15 years in the bigs. it's kind of time to flip that switch. Is there a switch at this point in time? Are you a man of routine? Do you tell your family it's on again? I'm back to ball. How's that work for you?
My wife, kudos to her. She has a really good understanding of the way that the schedule works and kind of how things go for me mentally as the season starts. And so I don't really have to say those things out loud. I think she just kind of understands, like, it's usually around the middle of January when my mindset starts to change from, okay, it's, vacation mode to, I need to start like focusing more on like kind of mentally, honing in on the things that are important. We usually we go to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. So that's usually like, the final straw for me getting like a few days away from the house and away from baseball. But outside of that, I mean, every day, well, for the most part, I've been here, working out and trying to learn the new names and faces. And outside of that, I go to Premier Fitness Systems, a place up north here that I've been going to pretty religiously for about 2 days a week since about 2 weeks into the off season, just because as I've gotten older, if I wait longer, it becomes harder to get myself all the way back in shape. So, when I was younger, I used to be able to kind of take a full month and a half off and then, kind of ease back into it. But I found that over the years, it's way too hard for me to like you said, flip that switch. Like I can do it mentally for sure, but physically it's way harder. When you're 25, 26, you can just be like, all right, it's time to work out. Like, let's go and work out, but as I'm older now, I need to have like a longer launch ramp, to get it going.
You're preaching to the choir. I'm 41. This is embarrassing a little bit. I'm playing golf at 10:30 today. I have my Theragun lined up, my yoga pad. When I was 25, none of this was happening before my tea time, man, at all. I totally speaking our language. Okay, let's stick with D-backs. Rip and I are from Arizona. That 2001 World Series was it for us. We still talk about it. We had Gonzo on the pod recently. We're talking about it still. Since then, it's been kind of middle of the pack, last place finishes in the NL West. We like the upside. We love the upside of a lot of the young guys. And you mentioned it, learning names, some young guys. We got Corbin Carroll. We got Jake McCarthy. You come in with that veteran presence to help these guys out. I can feel it just talking to you. Your Twitter bio says you love being around positive people, which is a key to success. So true. Give us some positive vibes and hope for why the D-backs can get back to the playoffs in 2023.
Yeah, I think the reason why I chose to come here and think one of the things that I've seen over the course of my career is when the younger the team is, the more optimistic they are, the more belief there is. They're not like bogged down by all these like negative, because I mean, let's be honest, the big leagues, it's hard to succeed here. There's a ton of failure. There's a ton of negative energy on the outside, people telling you how shitty you are, like, why didn't you do this? Why can't you do that anymore? And so when you don't have all of those things in your mind and you haven't heard them for, 10 years, like the optimism is palpable. And I think in this room, in this group, the guys are definitely in that headspace where it's like, yeah, we believe we can win, who cares? Like, what anybody else thinks. And there's just like that, unbridled optimism in the room. And I think that for me is going to be, hugely beneficial because, not to say that the groups that I've been with before are like that, but I've been with a veteran group for the last 5 years in San Francisco, guys that have played, to the very last day and won. And, but it's just a different mentality, it's almost like a work versus play thing, like you have, when you're 23, 24 years old, like you're playing a game still, like it's fun. You're showing up excited to be there every day. And so I'm really excited myself to kind of take some of that energy from them, take some of that, positive emotion from them and kind of, be able to also like interject like a little bit of a veteran presence there as well.
Yeah. Big moments, man. I love the Bay Area. I love the Warriors Giants championship runs and kind of transferring some of that energy down to the Valley of the Sun. I think it's culture, man. I think guys like you make it happen, really. We're so happy you're there. Okay, my last question. I'm gonna pass it to Rip. I love UFC too. I know you love UFC. Two-part question. Okay. Do you think ever, I know kind of fighting in baseball is looked down upon. Sorry, Shane in communications. This is probably, we could take this one out. But if there was ever fighting just for entertainment value and we had a mound charge, you thinking a Superman punch is the perfect move, UFC wise? You thinking a flying elbow? Are you trying to protect yourself? What would be the
I might
best?
go for a low single. I might go for a low single. No, I think the most important thing about a baseball fight is like you got to get there first before everybody else gets there. So I my go-to would be to try and like get as close to the guy I'm charging as possible, and potentially like get like a body lock and get him down and get on top, because the longer you're standing up, the longer you have a chance to like get hit by somebody else.
Yeah.
So the one-on-one fight in baseball would be great, like in hockey, where it's like, it's just me and you, but that never happens, so you
it'd be amazing.
Get it to a one-on-one, like on the ground combat with that guy, I think, as quick as possible.
Everyone knows there's downtime in baseball. I love that you guys have clearly thought about strategy on this. Everybody knows it, man. But,
I have. I don't know about everybody else.
Hey, Ev, we end every interview with a segment we call 1 star to 5 star. We're the 1 stars. We're trying to get better with advice and tips from every guest we have on this podcast, like yourself. So I want to ask I got 3 short questions here that really run the gamut on a 1 to 5 star scale, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. You, like myself, are a proud father. I'm going into my 3rd season coaching T-ball here in Long Beach Little League. It's so much fun, but also super challenging because the 4 and 5-year-olds have such a small attention span.
Yeah, that's tough.
Taken from your career and your years back in Little League, what's some 5-star advice you can offer coaches like myself to provide a good and fun environment for those young players?
Yeah, I think you have to keep the real teaching aspects to like a minimum and the fun aspects to a maximum, right? So like when I went to some of my son's T-ball practices. I didn't coach, but it seems like what kids like to do is run and like play tag and do the things that are not really baseball. So and they like to hit. That's like trying to teach kids to field is like nearly impossible at age 5 or 6. Now, I have a nephew who's 6 or 7. He's 6, I think, and he will do it all day long by himself. Now, I think there's some kids who just innately have that, but I think by and large, if coaches can figure out in an hour schedule how to make 45 minutes fun and 15 minutes teaching, with like literally like 2 or 3 or 4 minute like teaching moments, I think that's the best, because I think that's where you're going to capture the most kids to actually become interested in coming back to practice and playing the game. And I watched my son out there struggle because he has a small attention span, and they would try and coach him for 30-40 minutes. It just doesn't work. So figure out a way to make it fun, whether it's just throwing the ball as hard as you can to loosen up the arms, or, say like, hey, see that cone out there? Like try and throw it as far as you can to hit that cone, or whatever it is, make there be like little challenges that are fun for the kids, or, we're going to do a relay race to figure out how to run the bases, or whatever it is, where it's like, it's not really baseball, but it is baseball.
That you're such a pro. That's exactly what it is. We had our first practice the other day, and running to the fence and running around the bases was by far the most fun part for them.
Yeah.
So let's move to a 1-star moment. As I mentioned, you're a dad of 3. Everyone knows parenting offers those crazy moments. We had Olympic swimmer, gold medalist Ryan Lochte on. He told us that he forgot to pick up his kid at school one day. That was his 1-star moment. It happens to everyone. But so we know life is full of those 1-star moments for every parent. You're a veteran dad in the game. But let's call it a 1-star parenting moment for you over the past 5 years or so. Something that jumps out.
Look, I will say this. I wish I could, if I would have had something prepared, if I knew, you were going to ask me that question. But I will say I forget something that my wife tells me to do every day, without a doubt. I forget something. And thankfully it hasn't been one of my kids, at school or somewhere. But, to my wife's credit, she always reminds me. She knows, like, this is the time, this is the time, this is the time. She's a great scheduler. She keeps me on task. But I would say I'm not embarrassed to admit that I'm not a great scheduler. Like, I have things that I do well, and that's baseball, and I'm a great dad, but like I'm best in the present, like I'm best in, like, I'm here at the house. What can we do, like, in that moment? But like planning all of the abstract stuff, like, I'm horrible at.
Hey, it's that we always get those surprise text messages. Hey, you're supposed to do this, and that look on your face is
yeah.
All right, last one here. Talking heads are always debating which sport is the toughest to play: baseball, football, UFC. But the thing I hear over and over is that there's no challenge in sports that's comparable to hitting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that's moving all over the place. So from someone who's lived it for the last 20 years, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how accurate is that statement?
I would say probably 4, 4.5. The only other sport that for me, like, there's a lot of people like think that they could play baseball, and then you watch them try and hit a baseball, and it's like, it's impossible. I feel like I can do most sports pretty well. Like, I could shoot a basketball and look like I've shot a basketball. I can throw a football and look like I've, played football, which I did, when I was younger. The only sport that I don't feel like I could be somewhat competent in is ice hockey. And I watch ice hockey, and I have like the utmost respect for those dudes, because it's essentially like football on ice, while also trying to like maneuver a puck, with a stick. So I think that everything else is, I'm not saying I could be good at it. I'm not saying that, like, I just think that trying to hit a baseball is probably, the most difficult. Now, trying to hit a golf ball straight is very difficult. I can hit it off the tee, but it might not go straight. But yeah, it's, I think that there are people that have never like taken batting practice think that, oh yeah, they can hit a ball. I think that you could probably watch somebody swing and miss 100 times, literally 100 out of 100 times, and not contact the ball. So yeah, probably 4 to 4.5 out of 5.
4 to 4.5. I feel like I could probably rake a Tim Wakefield. Remember Tim Wakefield and that nugget?
Yeah, but I bet you couldn't.
I
bet you if you threw you 100 knuckleballs, you might foul tip like 5.
Shit, it's that wild of a dance, that Tim Wakefield. That's a dirty ball, man. Hey, everybody go follow this man at Evan Longoria on Instagram. He can do all sports. Can you kickflip on a skateboard?
I used to skate when I was young, but I would definitely break my arm now.
I think you can still get and bust one. I think you can still impress people. When you retire,
I'll tell you what, when I retire, I'll post a video of me kickflipping.
You tag us, 1-star recruits. I will in return. I haven't done one in 10 years. Also try to kickflip. I think I might really hurt myself. Dude, you always have fire content. It's really not too shabby for an old guy. Just kidding. What else we got?
I'm trying.
Hit up Ducky Sports Lounge in Tampa, man. We got Entrepreneur. Evan, you're going into your 16th season. It's unbelievable. We're so thrilled to have you in Arizona with this roster. Really, I'm not joking. So happy. Bring the Diamondbacks back to the playoffs, and thank you for coming on the 1-Star Recruits.
Thank you. And one more thing, I have a charity poker event coming up for one of my wife's friends here in Arizona. So if anybody's in Arizona, it's the Fusen Foundation, Stacy Fusen Foundation. They do fantastic work with athletes who are disabled. Stacy Fusen Foundation, all of the proceeds are going to disabled athletes. So support that. If you're in Arizona, come out and play, or just donate to the charity or whatever. It's coming up February 25th, I believe.
Let's go. Ev, does your wife do any consulting for time management with other wives?
No, but she would love to. She always says she could be a great, traveling secretary or strategist or planner. She's great, but she's got her hands full with our 3 kids, so I'm not giving her away.
Hit us up if she's looking for a job, man. My wife's ready to take some lessons. Open, ready to learn. All right, homie. Take care, man. Have a great season.
All right, thanks, guys.
Evan Longoria. What we do, Rip, we get them early. That's what we do. We get these guys early. In this case, we got Evan Longoria just early in the season. So early in the season. In the case of another guy, one friend of the pod, 1-star alum, Mac McClung, who now is famous and viral. We had him early, not in his career. No, we had him early in everything. We had him early, and Rip actually did an interview with him. He put his phone backwards, so Mac had to correct him because Rip is a one-star interview and podcaster. Bottom line is we had his ass early. We have Evan early. We do things early is the point of this damn rant I'm going on. How do you feel, Rip, about the Diamondbacks and just in all positiveness? Can we make the playoffs, or is it just going to be another year of, to be honest with you, me not really paying that much attention?
My NL West prediction is probably has the Diamondbacks in fourth place like usual. But the thing is, with the expanded wild cards now, I think there's a lot more opportunities and chances. We have a ton of young guys, but it's always going to be Dodgers and Padres at the top, followed by the Giants and then D-backs and probably Rockies is my prediction. But hey, man, if Evan can bring some veteran leadership to the squad, you never know, man. We could maybe get 500 and get in one of those last wild card spots.
Go baseball. Let's go. Paul, did you watch the All-Star Slam Dunk Contest in Salt Lake City?
I watched the highlights. Mac McClung he's a joke, dude. His jumping over the two guys and then tapping the backboard with the ball is so absurd. I don't think people understand how ridiculous that is.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Now, John, I'm going to give it to you just in a quick bullet point. Mac is about 6 foot, maybe 5'11", probably, maybe 6 foot on a good day. Looks like he should be an Air Bud. Shows up to Salt Lake City. He's on a 10-day contract, so he's not even in the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers smartly picked him up so he could rep that jersey, obviously, in this. He shows up. He's with 3 huge power dunkers in the dunk contest who all play it super cool, which they do. And we'll talk about this a little bit more. The All-Star game is just too cool for school in general. But of course, everybody plays it super cool. Here comes Mac, who was on the one-star recruits, who Rip is taller than, tears it off and rips off 350 perfect dunks all in a row and steals the show. In fact, probably saves the whole damn All-Star game. It was exciting. It's a kind of a moment in time when you think like maybe a Spud Webb moment. Does that ring a bell for you, John? You remember Spud Webb?
That does not.
Not even close. Any interest from you at all about a little white guy winning the slam dunk contest, or this is taken right to the Residence Inn and we'll leave it there?
No. I did hear about this, but is this guy like not? So he's not in the NBA. Is this like a Harlem Globetrotter guy they picked up?
He's a really good player. He's like a fringe NBA player right now, but they pretty much called him up to the NBA a week before the dunk contest just so could be representing the NBA squad. He wore a Sixers jersey for the first time in the dunk contest, so he's never played.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Is he gonna play like their next game or no?
He'll probably play in blowout. I mean, he's gonna be one of the last guys off the bench, but you know, he is a really good player. He needs to improve his shooting and defense, and kind of one of those guys.
Hey, his jerseys will sell though. No,
there's no shame in that. There's no shame in being the last guy off the bench. Let me tell you that.
That's true.
It sounds like John. Last man off the bench. We got one. We have one on the pod with us.
No. I was not the last, but I was off the bench. Let me tell you this. I did also hear, maybe you guys are about to get into this. I didn't watch any of the action, but didn't like the one guy almost made the scoring record, or he did beat the scoring record. And you were just kind of talking about the laid backness. Like someone told me that they're like, hey, this guy almost like beat the scoring record for the All-Star game. Isn't that kind of like you're just a loser if you do that?
Yeah, it's annoying to do that to me too. And it's Jason Tatum. It's Rip's kid's favorite player, so we'll be nice to him. He had like 75 points or something. What I don't even know what he had. It was what Coach Mike Malone said, who's a Denver Nuggets head coach. What a couple other guys said after that is it's just a elevated layup line. It's silly. Right. A couple guys got on the mic afterwards and said, "Show me the money," which is also not a nice thing to say when you're coming to do something like this. The NBA is jumbled right now in between players doing whatever they want, not really caring what the end effort is, and the All-Star game is that kind of. If you're not going to even put an effort in, I watched the Utah Jazz Rip do the skills challenge. They didn't even care at all. And they were home. Like, you got to care a little bit for this thing to be semi-interesting. I'm going to sell stock on the All-Star game until they figure this out. And I think it's guys like Mac McClung. I think you got to bring in outsiders who are doing more creative shit, who aren't getting paid. I think once you get paid a certain amount of money, you tap out. Like Paul. Paul got paid. Now he's chilling. He's going to Kauai, drinking beers all over Long Beach, just chilling. I think once you make the money, you chill a little bit. And that's my take on All-Star. I'm over it, though. I wouldn't take my family, Rip. Would you pay $400 to take your family to an All-Star game?
$400. maybe if my kid is that into it. But that's the thing about the All-Star game, the All-Star weekend, is that it's always been centered around the dunk contest. So the last 5 or 10 years, the dunk contest has been shitty. No one gives a shit about the entire weekend, but everyone's saying Mac brought that thing back this weekend, and he committed to running it back next year if they'll have him there. So, it could be good for at least another year.
Do you remember his viral videos back in the day when he was in high school?
Yeah, I mean, he's got millions of views on YouTube, and there's a crazy stat too. He'd made up to this point between his G League salary and his couple of 10-day contracts in the NBA, he'd made like $106,000 as a salary over the past couple of years. He won $100,000 just for winning the dunk contest. So
Wow.
He won almost his entire 2-year salary in that couple hours there last night.
Well,
That's
he
awesome.
also got a call up. So 10-day call ups automatically you get full minimum, which is 800,000. He also got a Puma shoe deal within that same call up time. So maybe add a couple million to that. Gate City, Mac McClung. We had him early. If you want to go back and listen back, real humble dude. The crazy thing, Rip, is he's the same exact guy we had a year ago. He is as focused as ever. I'd probably I don't even know. I'd probably be trying to, my ego is not my amigo at that point in time. He's calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, big ears, partial receding hairline from a small town in Virginia. Yeah, it's just like someone you can kind of relate to, So, big ups to Mac. And the other thing is he turned down, I think, $1 million contract to play overseas to come back to the G League and make $50,000 because he's that much closer to the NBA, and that's his dream. He wants to play in the NBA and be an impact player. So you got to respect that.
Yeah, and that's what the podcast is all about. We get 1-star recruits on early, and they become 5 stars. Same thing. That's why I asked about Evan Longoria. I think the Diamondbacks are going to be a similar situation. We have the leader on early, young team, talked about it in this interview. Hopefully that can transition into some success, and we'll have them back on as winners. That's the goal. That's the goal of this pod. That's the goal of life. 1-star moments of the week. Share anything, Rip, with our listeners that you did that just made you look foolish. 1-star moments. We all have them. What'd you do this week?
I got a couple this week. One relates to Mac a little bit real quick, is that Paul mentioned his jersey sales. So I actually went on Fanatics in the NBA store on Sunday morning to try to get a Sixers jersey shirt for my kid. There's no Mac McClung merchandise on either site, and it can't be found. So I put a tweet out and added, mentioned 500. I mentioned Fanatics and NBA store. And, they gave some responses. Sorry, we're working hard to update the site. And there's actually a Twitter account called Fanatic Sucks. And they retweeted it and said, Fanatic sucks, basically. Like, they're so late on capitalizing this. Could you imagine how much money they lost just by not having that merchandise on the site this week? And he was the biggest story in sports for about 48 hours. And they had nothing. You cannot buy a Mac McClung jersey right now.
Wait, really?
It's unbelievable to me because I was ready to pull the trigger. I'm frugal as shit and I'm a cheapskate, but I was ready to buy my kid. I was ready to put up $50 and buy my kid a shirt, but you can't find it. It's
bro. You know how many white kids would buy a freaking Mac McClung jersey right now? Like a young freaking 8-year-old? Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying, man. I could not believe it, but yeah.
That's nuts.
That was a 1-star moment of the week for Fanatics. I actually have another Long Beach 1-star moment of the week. I did a 60-second comedy routine last week on this show about gyms and the tiered gyms prices, because everybody knows I go to Planet Fitness at the Traffic Circle. It's $10 a month, but I went on about.
You are frugal, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. So you see shit in the shower, you see homeless people in there. But so actually last night, about 15 hours ago, I was there. I saw my first fight at Planet Fitness, and it was a few days after I did this rant about how dangerous it is. And it was between a man and a woman. I had my headphones on. I was doing some curls, and I see everyone looking over this direction. I can't hear shit. And so I take out my earbuds and I'm looking, and there's a man and a woman just screaming at each other. The man's shirt got fully ripped off, and they start walking back to the locker rooms. I'm like, oh shit. I actually went back, got my keys, and got the hell out of there. Cause I go shower there a lot to save money on my water bill. I put it on Planet Fitness's water bill. I didn't even shower. I went back home and showered because I was worried this dude was going to bring a gun back. Like if you know Planet Fitness, it's always a possibility. You're risking your life every time you go in there. And I got a little taste of it last night.
Well, Rip, hopefully the story ends so you don't have to showcase how much more frugal you are taking showers at the gym to save money on your water bill. But I don't know if you know this. I've been in a gym fight, got my nose broken at LA Fitness.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you said this on the pod about the basketball game, right? Was it in a pickup game?
Punch straight. I mean, my nose was messed up for like a year, bleeding all over the floor. The guy had to get thrown out. The entire gym. We were playing basketball, The entire gym came up to the basketball court. We had about 200 people watching us. It wasn't a fight. I just got punched.
Was it, you weren't a willing participant?
I didn't. Then you would want me to then throw a punch, but instead I just like probably cried or something along those lines.
Were you talking trash? Like how did it start?
Well, my team was talking trash, and I sort of took the result of that to the face. I wish they had been watching the actual game. They just watched me bleed all over the court. But
that's value. At least you're involved in it. And Rip's running out to his car to go eat Cheez-Its to get in his post-protein pump after freaking. And you better wear slides in that shower, Rip. There's needles in there and stuff. And
oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. That's the only place those sandals go is in that shower.
Sweet Lordy. Paul, what do you got? What's your 1-star moment of the week?
As you know, DK, the sun is real hot. I was out there in Hawaii, and let me tell you something. I don't get out too often, all right? I got pasty white skin, the whole nine. So I'm out there. I layer on, 50 proof, right? 50 proof little spray. I forgot that you got to relayer that. Like if you're out long enough, you have to put it on again. And I'm thinking like I'm cruising, bro. I'll be, completely no sunburn, nothing. Bro, I was burnt, real burnt. I had to go. They had aloe at the Airbnb. I was putting the aloe on, but that's my 1-star moment, man. You have to reapply. Mm-hmm. And I know you know that now, but you got to learn someday. And I think I did.
I'm at the point, and I'm still very howly, and I'm still not, but I'm at the point now where I don't really use too much lotion. I got my body to that point now. That's probably not good for cancerous, but Rip knows too. It will ruin your day. Rip got burnt up too when he showed up here. You guys are silly early on. It ruins. Hard to make love to your lady. Hard to go eat mahi. Hard to go do a little iced coffee. It all becomes hard once you get burnt up and you start peeling too. So that's a good reminder, man. I'm glad you're out in Hawaii, man. Look at that, showing some love.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I'm thinking about just, picking my roots up and planting them over there.
Come out here, man. There's tons of jobs.
Hey, we got too many legends leaving Long Beach. We can't lose another one.
All right.
We'll keep him there. But hey, put on your suntan lotion. John, what do you got, man? What's your 1-star moment? I mean, already we know you're a gym fighter.
Yeah, as Rip probably knows, Paul knows, I am a 5-star sommelier, but I did have a 1-star wine moment this week. Been drinking like a billionaire since I got engaged. Let's be honest. Just nice bottle after nice bottle. But then I go to wash the glass, and I'm thinking, you know what? This one's really dirty. All hot water, washing the wine glass, break it. Haven't broken a wine glass in like 3 years. It felt bad. It was a nice one.
Dang, so hard to clean up too. That's happened to me too recently. Don't do wine glasses with super hot water. That's the rule.
I think that's it. They just because you nudge it against something and it breaks.
Hey, be careful with glass around the house. Happens to me all the time. I did a dummy moment. I got a little bakery right around the corner from me. It's terrific. Rip went there when he went here. Lahaina Bakery right around the corner. They only do cash and Venmo, so it keeps me away from there. I'd go more if they just let me slide my card. I don't know why, but if I have cash, I'll go, whatever. I woke up one morning, every Friday, I like to get my guy Fred here a muffin, and I'll get myself a couple malasadas. $8.33. So I have a $100 bill. They're not going to break my 100. That's okay. I understand. You're a bakery. So I said, I'll do the Venmo. No problem. Now I've done this fucking before. Okay. I'm going to put a couple things into the atmosphere. I have fat fingers. I have terrible eyes. And I also smoke a little bit of weed every now and again, especially before I go to the bakery. So
triple threat.
I hit the triple threat. I'm trying to do the 3-peat there. So I do the Venmo option, $833. I hit $833, and I go through the second verification round. So I full $833. This is a little bakery in Hawaii. So I try to say, well, I fucked up. Can you take it back? There's no quick takebacks on Venmo. If you guys have ever done this before, there's no just take it, delete the tweet or whatever, or whatever. That doesn't exist. So I panic. The woman is definitely not going to be able to help me. She's not the owner. It's not going to her Venmo. I realize I'm going to have to do a whole chase down. And this wasn't this is a big miss. That's like $1,000. So I panic a little bit. I sit down in the bakery. I go through all the things on Venmo when you can report stuff, and I'm reporting and I'm trying. I leave my number. I come back. The owner calls me about an hour later. We work it out. Turns out, if you ever do this, listeners, in the future, huge pain in the ass, but the receiver of the money has to pay 20% back to Venmo for the transition fee. So in this case, it was like $20, significant, more than my malasadas. So he's refunded, and he asked nicely if I would help pay the fee, and in return he would give me pastry. So your boy got 12 malasadas, paid the damn fee, and fucking sucked, dude. It was like a half a day of that dumb mistake, like a dummy. So BK, and I've done this shit before. I did it for Rip's kid. He sent me a link for a fundraiser, and I moved too fast, and I donated like $1,000 every week or something.
For like 24 hours, my kid was like far and away the number one fundraiser at Mini Gant for this fun run because of DK, but then he took it back. Like
moving too fast. That's my moment in anyway. So we'll flip on. We'll go from bad news to good news. 1-star wreck of the week. We're gonna go. We don't usually do it back to back like an Oreo cookie rip, but we'll do it here today because we got the homies on. I'll just keep it with me because I got the fucking mic on. Super easy. I do Netflix all the time. Rip, when you tell them, you make me sound basic, like I'm not exciting or mysterious or cool, but I'll take it. It's fine because
this guy lives on Maui and he sits home and watches Netflix for like 6 hours a day. It's unbelievable.
You got nice beaches out there, DK.
Come on, DK.
Well, this is a combo of my two passions. This one right here, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, I don't care. 1-star record of the week. Super easy. Netflix ad. Netflix has a new PGA reality TV show. It's called Full Swing. As the listeners know, I'm fully addicted to golf, like 100%. The way John loves wine, the way Paul loves Long Beach, the way Rip loves getting good deals. Rip, how come I couldn't even think of anything that you love? Yeah, but it's called Full Swing. It's so much fun. They follow 16 players over 8 different episodes. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, some new guys, some rookies, a guy from Scottsdale who doesn't even really care that much about golf, but he's on the PGA Tour, kind of just chilling. He's cool being the 70th guy on the PGA Tour. Real interesting. The same guys who did the F1 Netflix series, which is also really good, did this one. So Rip, it's a little bit like Hard Knocks meets the PGA. These guys all live in Jupiter, Florida, in huge multi-million-dollar homes, and all have model wives. Paulina Gretzky's in it, if you want to check her out, listeners. But that's my rec of the week. Really good. Paul, I'm gonna send it to you. What's your rec, homie?
I got a few things. I got one tied for a Long Beach tie, and then another for Scottsdale because we got Evan Longoria on the show. You know what I mean? I got you guys. All right. One, I want to say Longoria probably couldn't have played at Biola like I did. I led the country in doubles. He probably didn't. Not to brag. But I will say, if you're going to a game at Blair Field, all right, this is for Rip. If you go to a game at Blair Field, I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what season. You have to bring a sweatshirt. You have to, because it is the coldest place on earth. I'm telling you right now, if it could be 11 a.m. and it's 80 degrees outside, not at Blair Field, bro. So bring a sweatshirt. Another thing, Rip, you've been killing it on your stand-up comedies, your routines. You've been on fire, bro. I respect it. Can't wait to go one of your shows, maybe at the Laugh Factory over there at the Pike. But I will say, when you're going, you could use this, Rip. If you're going to a spring training game at Scottsdale, maybe Salt River Field or something like that, go check out a Rockies game. I think they play there. I think the Diamondbacks play there too, no? At Salt River? Yeah. Great place. Mm-hmm. There's a margarita spot, a margarita concession stand. Bunch of baddies over there, all right? They probably went to Arizona State, whatever. If you want a nice little joke to get everybody laughing, ask them how much it would cost to just take the bottle, but be cool about it. Be like, hey, just how much for the bottle up there? No doubt an instant laugh by all these hot blonde chicks every single time. So that's my 5-star rec right there for you guys.
And was this a recommendation or the one time you made girls laugh, Paul?
A little bit of both. A little bit. It doesn't happen often, John. You know that.
Yeah, you put that back in his spank bank laugh memory of
yeah.
He brings it back.
I liked it. I like it a lot.
I love it, man. And last time you guys were on our Peyton Watson episode, you told us about a secret door at the Pyramid over at Cal State Long Beach is 24/7 is unlocked. And now you're dropping hints about Blair Field. I mean, these guys got tips about everywhere in Long Beach. So hit them up, Long Beach 908 Shoot Your Shot podcast. What do you got, John?
I'm going to stay on that margarita train. Now, before Paul went to Hawaii, back before I was engaged, a whole different time, it was like 2 weeks ago, I had him over for tacos, and he knows I'm switched over in my tortilla shell. So I'm going to give a shout out to Romero's Tortillas, because I learned that Guerrero's and what was the other one? They're all
I forget.
Guys.
Mission or something.
Mission. Yeah, Guerrero's. They're big, behemoth, How about the small guys? Romero's, they make a damn good shell, much more fresh, but you have to eat it within the first month of opening.
Did you shift from soft to hard or from corn to flour? What was the shift?
It was just the brand. It's soft shell. That's kind of like that shoot your short thing. Soft shell.
Yeah.
Tortillas, and I'm all on board.
He's in. Holy shit.
Rick knows there's not much to be excited about in life. So if you get something, you gotta shout it from the top of the mountain.
Yeah, well, the $1 million question for Rip and everybody with kids and every 40-year-old man like me who gets stoned is, how do they turn into quesadillas? How do they fry up?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Very important aspect to I like the Sinaloa. That's a little Hawaiian. Interesting. That's a Hawaiian tortilla brand, but Sinaloa is the name of the brand. I don't know how they get into that, but whatever. Great rec, bro. Great rec, John. How about you, Rip? Bring us home, baby.
Yeah, John's all about small business, so I love that rec. Romero's, tortillas. I got. I'm gonna recommend a comedian. I discovered the last couple of weeks on Instagram. Her name is Megan Gailey, Gailey. She's from Indianapolis, big sports fan, and lives in LA now to pursue her comedy career. But I'm gonna try to book her on the pod. She's had a special on Comedy Central. She's got a bunch of YouTube clips. She's hilarious on her clips, and especially Instagram. And I'm gonna try to book her on the pod and see if she'll be receptive to me doing a 60-second bit in front of her and just tear me apart and give me all kinds of advice on it. So Megan Gailey, Gailey, check her out. She's all over the internet. Great comedian. She's hilarious.
Let's go. At 908, maybe you guys can help me out because he's being a little bit of a puss about it and I haven't got full accountability, probably like 30%. Can you guys help me maybe find a venue? Just keep your eyes open, find a venue, and then just keep reminding him. If you see him at the Safeway, if you see him on 2nd Avenue getting some tortillas, whatever he's doing, maybe just remind him that he's got to hit a goal. We want to see him perform. Do you think we can maybe get some Shoot Your Shot listeners to come out and support him if he did this?
Oh yeah.
We'll sell that place out, DK.
Rip,
I don't know if I want that. I kind of want like 100 people. I want like 10 people I don't know. I think that's ideal for me right now. But I might just break out in Planet Fitness and do it. It's some stranger shit happen there.
Maybe you rendezvous at once Big John buys out the the pizza joints. Buys the whole thing out. Maybe you come and show up like Will Ferrell. Just give a quick, like a Dave Chappelle hitter for him.
What do they say? Just picture everybody naked. Just do it in the shower at Planet Fitness, bro. You'll be all right.
I love it, man.
Some dude will be masturbating by your bed. You know, who knows what happens there. Yo,
I didn't say I was coming for sure.
Hey, so much fun, homies. You guys are the best. What's happening? What's coming up on the pod, the Shoot Your Shot podcast?
We got a show recording tomorrow. Probably be out by Thursday, I'd say. We're going to be recapping my trip to Hawaii, probably John's engagement, I'd have to say. We had a Taco Tuesday recently that we got after it, crushed some margaritas, maybe a little Academy Awards talk, a little bit of that.
Nice.
But yeah, we got some stuff coming up.
Yeah, good pod. You guys are so funny. John, anything else you'd like to say about it's fresh, so that's why I'm going to hit you with it about engagements, man. Are you have a lot of love in your heart right now? Are you feeling de-stressed, more stressed?
Big de-stressed. It's interesting because now the whole wedding thing, what a shit show that is. How expensive and everything's booked. But for me, the engagement was big. A lot of love in my heart, obviously. It was weird keeping a secret. I do think it's a very weird notion that like right before you get married, you have to learn how to really be good at lying to your significant other. That was like just such an interesting facet of the whole thing. But I'm glad to be not lying anymore, and we can just be ourselves. The ring looks great on her finger, and the stress is mostly in her court now, so I appreciate that for myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, great times as always. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, John. Check out their podcast, the 908 Shoot Your Shot podcast. We're back next week. We have NBA draft lottery prospects early once again. Rips on them. We got guys before you know them. We had Mac McClung a year ago. Get your news here first. 1-star recruits. Give us 5 stars. Send this to anybody, especially if you're in Long Beach or Phoenix. And have them follow the 908 Shoot Your Shot podcast. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.